Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to draft and cut an overbust corset with scope neckline and a stylish hemline. Okay, so if this sounds like something you're interested to learn, please keep on watching and let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to make sure your pattern paper is on a fold. I've already drafted the full basic bodies as you can see. So I'm going to explain what I have here. Okay, so I'm going to now place my tape from my shoulder to my chest line. I have 7.5. From my shoulder to the bust point, I have 9.5. From my shoulder to the under bust, I have 12.5 inch. From my shoulder to the waistline, I have 15 inch, and from my shoulder to the top length, I have 22 inch. Okay, that is what I have here. The full length is 22 inch, at least for now. Okay, so the next thing I have here is 3 inch for my neck width and 3 inch for my neck depth. You can see is on a round neckline. So from the bust point, I came down by 1 inch. Okay, and on the waistline, I marked half of my nipple to nipple, then subtract half an inch on both sides. From the under bust, sorry, from the bust point, I went ahead to connect to the top length. Okay, using the half an inch. So the next thing you want to do now is to tighten your underbust line. So for my underbust line, I'm going to go in by half an inch on both sides. This is for underbust tightening. Okay. So after tightening like that, on this top length, I am going to come in by 2 inch from the center front of your top length. Go in by 2 inch, then make your point. After that, you're going to connect from your underbust to that 2 inch. Okay, just like this. So it's not meant to be straight, just small slanted. Okay, just like this. So I'm going to connect from this side to this start leg. Okay, just like this. Okay, so once I'm through with this, the next thing I want to do now is to go ahead and connect my cup. Okay, I'm going to connect from the point I came down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect from there to my underbust, just like this, to give me my cup shape. Okay, so from the shoulder, you're going to divide what you have left. I have 4 inch, so I'll just mark 2 inch, then go ahead and connect just like this. Okay, from your mid shoulder, connect to your chest line. Can you see? After I was done with that, I am going to come outside by half an inch. Okay, so that is for my shoulder tightening. So I'm going to, from the chest line, connect to that point where I marked half an inch. Okay, just like this. Next thing is to come down from the bust point by 2 inch. This is for the bust dart. Okay, it's for my bust dart. So I came down by 2 inch. So I connected it to the bust point. Okay, just this way. Next thing I want to do now is to slash from the mid shoulder line. Okay, you're going to slash and stop your slash at the bust point. So also close up your shoulder tightening, that point where you marked your half inch, go ahead and close it up as you can see. So I use my pin to pin them in place. So I'm going to replace back the half an inch I marked on that shoulder tightening. I've gone ahead to replace it. Then I have to extend my shoulder slope to that point. So from the chest line, I'm going to go in by half an inch on both sides. I used half an inch because I don't want to have difficulties when joining the cup. So if you're bursty, you can subtract 3/4 of an inch on both sides. Okay, so you can see my cup is already taking shape. Okay, and the half an inch I marked on both sides is to avoid caping on my bustier. Okay, so you're going to divide your bust circumference by 4, replace the dart of 1 inch, depending on what you mark, then mark your normal seam allowance. You're going to repeat the same thing on the waistline. Make sure you replace the dart, do the same thing on the hip, mark quarter of your hip circumference, then replace the dart. Also add your 1.5 or 2 inch for seam allowance, then go ahead and connect like so. Okay, so after I was done with this, the next thing I want to do again is to add extra inches for the stylish hemline. Okay, so I came down from the top length by 3 inches. All right, then I went ahead to mark. I'll use my ruler to connect a straight line. Then after that, I'll label as corset length. I'll label that one as corset length. So I'm also going to extend the dart leg of both sides. Okay, you're going to first extend half of your nipple to nipple, then extend the dart as well, then also cut through your bust dart and stop at the bust point. So go ahead and unpin your shoulder side, remove your pin, then close up your bust dart like you see me doing here. Okay, so I will use my pin to pin it in place. So after I was done with this, I'm also going to make sure the both lines align very properly. So I will use my marker to make sure the both line aligns properly like this. So after I was done with that, I am going to place my tape from the waistline. Then I'll divide what I have there by 2. You can make it slanted or you can just connect it in a straight line. Okay, anyhow you want to do it is totally fine. Okay, so I'll connect from there to that point. So I'm also going to, I'll add like 1/4 inch on both sides of the waistline. Okay, so this is not for waist snatch because I'm still going to replace it back. Okay, so I'll just extend the 1/4 inch to the corset length, then I'll just connect it to the bust point like this. Okay, so what I have here is total of 1/2 inch. Remember it's 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'll replace the 1/2 inch on the waistline. Okay, then I'm also going to extend this hip line to the corset line, and also I'm going to extend 1 inch on this corset line. Then from the waistline I am going to go ahead and connect from there to the corset length. So I'm also going to connect to the chest line just like this. Next thing I want to do now is to achieve the scoop neckline. So from the shoulder, I came down by 3.5. You can decide to come down by 4 inch. So after marking, I'm going to merge these together like this both line. I'm going to merge them together like this. Then I'll place my curve rule this way. Then I'll go ahead and connect the neckline. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and curve the neckline like this. Can you see? So this was what I had after I was done. I'm going to make sure the both lines align very properly. Okay, just like this. So once I'm through with that, what I'm going to do now is to cut it out. Okay, so I've cut this one and I'm also going to cut the other side as well. All right, so I'm also going to cut the dart and every other thing. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah. So guys, this was what I had after I was done cutting. So I'll label as 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's very important you label this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is from the bust point line, I'm going to make sure those points aligns very properly. Okay, you can see I have little excess there, so I've gone ahead to trim it out. Okay, you trace it with your marker, then you trim it out. So you can see now everything is on equal length. Can you see? This is the neckline and it's very equal like this. So this is all the patterns. I've gone ahead to cut everything out like I said earlier. So from the top length to my corset length, I have about 3 inches. So I'm going to mark the same 3 inches on this other side of the pattern paper. So I'll use my ruler to extend. Okay, just like this. You connect them in a straight line. After that, trim out the excess pattern paper on the hem side or on the down part. Next thing I want to do is to mark out the line for the center front. I'm going to make sure it's very visible. I use my pencil to do this. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is to achieve the first curve on one side of the blouse. So remember the style we're working with has a shorter part and longer part on both sides of the center front. Okay, so we want to achieve the curve for the shorter part of one side of the center front. So from this other side, you can see I came up by 2 inch. All right, so I'm going to close up my dart. So from that point where I came up by 2 inch, I am going to go ahead and make my curve. Then I'll connect from there to my top length. I'm going to continue doing this. I said to use my free hand to achieve this. So from this side of the top length, I'm going to go ahead and connect from there to that point. Can you see what I have here? So this is for one side of the blouse, that is the shorter part of the blouse, a bit shorter length of the blouse. So I'm going to, achieve the second one. Okay, so I have 3 inch here. I'm going to reduce it by 1 inch. So I've gone ahead to cut this part, okay, using the curve I made, and have trimmed out about 1 inch on that 3 inch I came down by. So what I had left was 2 inch, because I don't want it too long. That's why I decided to reduce by 1 inch. So you can see I have 2 inch here. So what I'm going to do now is to, close my dart, you know get it close like this, or you make sure they are very close. So this is 2 inch. Now from this top length, I am going to go ahead and make my curve. You just come up a little bit like this. You can see how I curved it. Go ahead and connect from there to that point on the corset length. Do you get? So what I'm saying here, if you don't understand, is that all curves should start from the top length, and for the curve, for the longer curve, you are going to stop it at the corset length. Do you get? You don't understand what I'm saying? Please rewatch this video so you understand very well. So I've gone ahead to cut it out. After cutting the front pattern, you can see what I have here. So we're going to move into the cutting of the back pattern. So I've already labeled the chest line, waistline, and top length. And what I have here is normal dart intake. And for the neck width, I marked 3 inch, then 1.5 inch for the neck depth. Okay, so on the waistline is half an inch on both sides. So the length I have for my top length on the back piece is just 22 inch. That's the length. Okay, so I'm going to now include quarter of my bust circumference. Okay, then I'll add 1.5 inch for my allowance. There is no dart on that chest line. So on the waistline, I'll mark quarter of my waist circumference, then replace the dart of 1 inch I have there. Also add 1.5 inch for your normal dart, sorry, for your normal allowance. I'm going to mark quarter of my hip circumference, add 1.5 inch there. I did not replace any dart because there is no dart on that line. Okay, so after connecting that side, I am going to divide what I have left on that side. I'll mark the midpoint just like we did at the front pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead to connect like this. You can make it slanted or straight, anyhow you choose to do it. So I also came inside by half an inch on both sides. You can maintain the quarter of an inch if you want. So I'll just go ahead and connect this way. After that, I'll measure what I have there for the dart, and I'm going to replace it on the waistline, then replace it back on the top length as well. So go ahead and connect this way. Okay, after connecting, this is what you will have. The next thing I did is from the chest line, I came down by half an inch. Then I'm going to use my ruler to connect from there to the chest line. Okay, then for your back opening, you can mark any inch you want, 2 inch, 3 inch, any inch you want for your back opening is fine. So I marked 2 inch, then I connected a straight line with it. So from the top length, I came up by 1 inch. So I'm going to make a curve from there to that point. After I was done with that, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay, and I'll also cut through the chest line just like this. Cut out your lacing band. I'll be back opening. Okay, so this is where the loops will be sitting. So also go ahead and cut out all your darts. Okay, do the same thing on this other side. After cutting, don't also forget to label as 1, 2, and 3. Then also give directions on how to join them. Okay, this is basically all for the cutting of the back piece, and these are all my patterns. Thank you so much guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.